Hello and welcome to another episode of BritBallin. How are we doing? I'm Mike McGugan, joined by my co-host, Angel of the North, the man himself, Adam Wilkin. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How's things?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm loving the new microphone tonight, mate.
Yeah, mate. Goes up and down as well, mate.
Look at classic. We've moved on in the world. We're not just no run-of-the-mill stream anymore. We're trying to get moving forward. And tonight's show is in for a good one. I think we're going to be learning quite a lot tonight, aren't we, bud?
We are, mate. I'm really looking forward to this one, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting this chap a couple of years ago, maybe last pre-season at the Manchester Titans training camp. He came along and did a couple of sessions for us, and I think it was one of the things that was clear is he definitely knows his stuff, and you can see why he's got to where he's got to. So again, as always, nobody's ever here to see us as mate. So shall we introduce the guest?
Yeah, let's get him on. BAFCA chairman, Wayne Hill.
President, I think, actually, mate.
Oh, president. Is it BAFCA president? I get so confused, mate. Welcome to the show, mate.
Hey, doing, guys. Great to speak to you both, and thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for coming on, mate. So, obviously, you just give a quick introduction to yourself. It's BAFCA president, GB students head coach. Is that right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it at the moment. Apart from I'm a positional coach at the Birmingham Lions women's program as well. So, yeah, BAFCA president. Been in that post now for around about 3 years. GB students head coach. Obviously, we were resurrected just pre-COVID, and then we were shut down due to COVID as we were supposed to go to the World Championships. And then I've been kind of working over the last kind of year with the Birmingham Lions women's program, working with their linebackers and just supporting with their defensive program there. And I'll continue to do that.
Oh, no, perfect. So very much then out of the house all the time. Not a lot of time for the family. It appears to be a common theme within American football coaching at the moment.
Yeah, it's what the wife likes. So she hasn't had me around since day one. So since we met, she always knew football came first. So she's used to that idea of me not being around on a Saturday, Sunday, and probably most nights as well.
Yeah, my missus loves it as well, mate. She's like, when are you going back?
Yeah.
I might need to put my missus in touch with you too, because she's always the opposite. She's like, stay home, please, don't leave me.
Yours must like you, mate. That's what it is.
I know. That's it. So, Wayne, you've obviously been in the sport for a while now. Do you want to give us a quick introduction for anyone who would be watching who wouldn't know you? About how you got into the sport and why what you do now, really.
Yeah, I mean, many moons ago, kind of back in kind of 1987, my dad started watching football on the NFL and got me into watching it. And at that time, I kind of played soccer, played rugby, played cricket, and just got me hooked really, and wanted to find a local team. And took us probably around about 6 months to find the local team, and that was the Birmingham Bulls. At the time, had like a youth program, which was like a two-touch program back in the day. So I played for those for a couple of years. Unfortunately, that team folded, and I was a year too young to play for the junior program. So I agreed with my dad to forge my birth certificate, and so I could play a year older than I was supposed to. Played for the junior program at the Bulls and played GB juniors. And then at the end of GB juniors, I ended up playing in Barcelona for the Barcelona Boxers. And then I came back, ended up playing a season with the Bulls and another season with Redditch, and through injury got into coaching at that time. Had my first year as a defense coordinator at the University of Birmingham, and then the following year I took over as head coach, and I was there for 19 years through that program, and developed that program from kind of just a university team into kind of a junior program, a youth program, a women's program, and we had adult flag, and now we were just starting the cadets, just as I was kind of took a step back and kind of retired for a year. And then I'm back in the
It was one step back, two step forwards, really, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Just need to be need a bit of a breather. I did take a year out of that 19 years to get married. So a year out to get married, and that was an agreement there with the wife. And then I just couldn't resist it. I had to get back into it, and then stepped down a couple of years ago. Greg Freeman took over, which was fantastic for the program, for the continuity, and we had a great staff there, and he's developed that further and further.
Does Greg played under you, didn't he? He played for
yeah. Greg played for me. In my year out at the university, that was Greg's first year. Funny story is I ended up helping out with the league and kind of discipline within the league. And in that first year, in my year out of coaching, there was a disciplinary case about an ejection of a Hearts player, but that was down to Greg Freeman being a bit of a naughty boy on the field, and we ended up overturning the ejection from the Hearts player, and then I ended up going back to Birmingham and spending some time with Greg, and kind of had some challenging times with him to start off with, but he came around to seeing how we did things the right way, and he just developed tremendously, both on the field and off the field, from character and leadership, and into a quality young man, and has become a fantastic coach now for the program.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's really good to see. I mean, it's memories for me, really. I kind of grew up with American football, with the Birmingham Lions just being the stalwart team definitely in the Bucks divisions. I remember, obviously, last week we talked about the Sandwell Steelers quarterback now and former Birmingham Lions quarterback Tristan Varney, and that was all anyone ever spoke about. I think when I was introduced, he's almost like famous to me. I've never actually met the lad. I've seen him play once, but I hold him in such high regard because I think it was that Birmingham Lions era that was just so dominant in Bucks, wasn't it? And obviously at the explosion, it just changed the way people look at Bucks, really, didn't it, with the Birmingham Lions? I feel personally.
Yeah, I mean, we were really lucky with the university buying into what we were doing, and really kind of believed in what we had to offer them as a program and as a sport. So kind of that first kind of explosion, like pre-explosion, was a Friday night game that we played against Warwick, and we only played that because it was a rain cancelled game, and Warwick needed to their term times finish early. So we said, right, okay, if we can play this game and catch it up, then we'll have it on a Friday night, and we sold it to the university's Friday night lights, and we ended up getting like nearly 1,000 people down there on the track, and they were like, right, let's try and do this on a regular basis now, and explosion kind of came out of that. But we were really lucky that we were able to recruit really well, and the players that we had throughout that period, and they continue to have their really buy into the philosophy of what the Lions are about and how they work and prepare.
Yeah, and obviously with the GB students setting up recently, that's appears. When I heard it was setting up, I almost knew it was going to be yourself as head coach if you take it, because I don't think there's anyone else who is more equipped to take it. So how did that come about? Did they reach out to you, or was it a joint thing in helping set it back up? How did that come to fruition?
No, it was a full application process. I appreciate you saying that I was going to be the coach from day one, but that wasn't the case. Obviously, in the first phase of of the GB students, we set that up, and we had the first international game of students against Sweden, which we won, and we were hoping to go to the World Championships the following year in Sweden, but that wasn't to be. So then we kind of continued to develop. We played Finland away and beat Finland away. Again, looking to go to World Championships, and that wasn't the case. So at that point, we stepped down from that program, and that program kind of went to the wayside. So when it was redeveloped, and all credit to the SAG and Coach John Rooney and Coach Adam Lillis, who were on the SAG for Bucks, they were really instrumental in bringing the program back. And then from that, there was an application process, which kind of started in September last year. Went through a normal application, a task that we had to do, and then we had a formal interview as well. So it was quite an intense process that we went through with the SAG and Bucks, and Mike Callan as the National Programme Director. And then from that, we were appointed in December, put the staff together, because it was going to be a quick turnaround, because we need to get a team ready to go to World Championships in June. So January to March was going to be our key target point. And obviously we were just getting ready to go to trial. Everyone had applied for trial, which was fantastic. We had over 300 players apply for trial, so that was great. and then unfortunately COVID hit. So from my point of view, it's going to be great to get back into it and relaunch the program again when we get the go ahead to do that. But I just think GB Students is such a great opportunity for all of our students, and we saw the development in players through the program that have gone into the GB Adult program and then gone to play on in Europe. So we really do see the GB Student program as a big stepping stone for the development of players in the UK.
Yeah, and how does it? How's COVID this year affected eligibility? Because from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, once you leave university, you still get one more year of eligibility. Is that right?
Yeah, it was always a +1 situation. Where that stands moving forward, we don't know. The reason being is because when we go back, the the World Championships will be in 2022. So there'll be no formal championships in 2021. They've confirmed that the championships was just cancelled in 2020. So in 2022, that the next championships will be. So I guess guys would need to be +2. Or if we start saying to some of those guys now, it's a great time to do a Masters. So, and get on it, and let's get you back in the program. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have kind of the North-South being revisited last year with Football America. That was a great opportunity for players, and hopefully we'll continue to do that on an annual basis as well as part of the GB Student setup.
That was actually going to be one of my next questions, because a couple of weeks back on the show we did a Prem North, a North and South All Stars team, and us and the X's and O's teamed up. And one of the reasons for that was because of what happened in that game last year, and I think it was a good spectacle. And I think it should be across all levels. There should be that kind of rivalry and that. Does that mean? Did that help you as GB Students head coach? Is going to be one of my questions. And do you think that should transgress to the senior level?
Yeah, I think it's always going to help, and it would be in our plans moving forward to always have that North-South game. We just get to so much exposure to the players and see so many different players there that, I mean, what I will say from a South point of view, what really stood out for me were the players in Div 2 that just athletes, and that unfortunately maybe their university, they hadn't got the university backing, they just hadn't got the recruitment, whatever it was at their university, but they were a Division 2 team, but they'd gone there and they'd really worked hard, and they were just great athletes. I mean, some of our top receivers were from Div 2. One of our top defensive linemen was a Div 2 defensive lineman, and it was just a great opportunity to see those players from not only the Prem level, but Div 1 and Div 2 that could really showcase their skills, and just really lit up with the coaching that we had there. I mean, it's really, really quality from that point of view. And we get to see more coaches as well. And that's what we want to expose it to. We don't want to have all the same coaches in the national program set up. We want to be able to develop coaches through the programs. And the North-South All-Star aspect is a great way of exposing coaches to those kind of better players, and also a structure that will enhance their skill set as well.
So how do you, like, obviously each coach has like a different philosophy. Do you have like a philosophy that you like stick by wherever you go, or do you have a different one when you were at Birmingham to when you were GB Students, or what's your like philosophy, let's say?
I think for me, my philosophy kind of stems down to kind of 3 things, and it kind of transcends wherever I go, really, because it's what I demand of myself is the starting point, and what I then demand of the coaching staff, and then that filters down to the players, because I truly do believe that we're delivering a service to our players. So we as coaches need to hold ourselves in the highest regard to start off with, and deliver the best service possible for our players. So for me to start off with, it's kind of work ethic. That's where I start with. And I really don't think that my passion and kind of where I sit is that no one's going to outwork me, or if they are, they're going to have to go well above and beyond in that preparation, because I feel that I work hard in all my preparation. I feel I work hard in everything that I do in getting the players and the coaching staff and the organisation in the best place they possibly can be. So that work ethic, I think, transcends to the players and also to the coaches that we have, because they know how hard I work and how hard we work as a staff. So they know where they sit and what they need to offer there. I think we need to have great effort when we're on the field across the board. So whether that be an individual drill, whether that be coaching, whether that be on the game day, we just want effort throughout. And then finally, is enthusiasm. Like we're all volunteers in this, and I want to enjoy it, and I am going to enjoy it, and I'm passionate about it. And from those things, if we can have the enthusiasm out there, and the players are enjoying it, and we're enjoying it, then that's great for everybody. I mean, that work ethic and effort is going to help develop players, and that's one of the things where players will continue to come back and want more and more. And I think that's a great recruitment tool for us as well with teams, because if players turn up and they're developing, then they're going to keep coming back and wanting more. So kind of work ethic, effort and enthusiasm are my kind of key themes within my philosophy. And then just keep reinforcing the fact of it's about player development. It's not about X's and O's. It's not about wins and losses. We just want every player to get better. And then for us to do that, we've just got to be able to deliver a fantastic service for them and the best customer service possible we can. And we'll go from there. So I guess that's kind of my philosophy in a nutshell, and that's what we've done throughout wherever I've been.
No, that's spot on. That I mean, how does a like a typical game week look for you? Like practice wise, to then are you just watching film? Are you just getting guys in a classroom? Like what do you guys do on a typical week?
If I talk about kind of university week, and we used to lay this out to the players in pre-season to talk about what the coaches did on a regular week, to just showcase how much work they put in, what they could expect from us, because that's really important that the players know what they should be expecting from their coaches. So for us, it was kind of Sunday after that game, we'll be getting film straight away, and we review our own performance. And most of the time, we would have game film of our opposition at that time as well. So Sunday night was a bit of a review, how we got on, and then probably just start a little bit into the game plan and watching what was going on of our upcoming opponent. Monday was solely based on the opponent we were facing, and we'd spend quite a lot of time watching film, developing the scouting plans, developing the tendency reports, to go through there. And then Tuesday would be a classroom session for us. So we would have a classroom session which start off with our own self-review and what went well and what we need to improve on from the previous game. And then we'd then start focusing on installing the game plan of what we had seen from our opposition. Wednesday would be our kind of practice preparation, where we put together our practice scripts, our practice plan to enable us to get ready and out there for a practice on Thursday. Thursday would be a normal practice for us. We do 8 till 10 most of the time. If we need to get a bit of a half an hour beforehand with certain players to go through some particular scheme stuff or game plan, we would do that. Friday would be probably refining the game plan and the practice sheet, the play sheet, and the risk coaches, and just kind of probably a last little look to confirm on the film of what we'd put in and how we'd react to that. And then Saturday would probably just be a little bit of downtime with the family, but then also just checking in on the coaches, checking in on a couple of players, making sure everything was all right, organisation wise, ready for our game on the following day. So pretty jam packed, but
pretty full on there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it any other way.
There's a lot of people that sit in the wings that don't really realise how much goes into coaching. I mean, I get, let's say, I get coaches that are part of my staff at the university. They'll say, why are you messaging us at this time? Well, I've just seen this clip online. I think it would fit in for our guys. What do you think? And they're like, can you not just ask with train on Tuesday? No, I'm asking you now. What do you think? I need the plan to put it in there. So
yeah, I think communication with the staff just throughout the week is just so key, really, because we're all going to take different elements of the game. We're all going to see different things. we need to run ideas past one another, and we need to communicate, because when it comes to practice classroom on Tuesday and practice on Thursday, we all need to be singing from the same hymn sheet. So there's no point in players hearing one thing from one coach and something else from another coach. So communication throughout the week is pretty constant with all the coaching staff.
And is that the same with the players then? Are they as involved throughout the week, or do you have a certain amount of players? So it might be like QB, middle linebacker, whoever it may be. Do you have like a closer knit who you work with closer and more often, and then expand that out to the full team?
We'd probably in a situation where we'd have some kind of key cohorts that we'd work with throughout the week. And they would also, I mean, some of the players would watch film and come to us as well and say, actually, we're seeing this, we think we can do this week, and get that feedback from them. We'd also probably, I'd meet with the committee of the team before our classroom session each week. And then I'd probably, just after that committee meeting, just catch up with one or two of the, I would kind of pretty much organise the defensive game plan. So I'd catch up with one or two of the key defensive players there, just to run through one or two things with them on what they wanted, on what we wanted from their positional groups. Because the way we did things at University of Birmingham, we had positional leaders. So we had our kind of team captains, but every one of our positional groups had a leader allocated to them. And that's where in classroom sessions, the positional leader would group all the defensive line together, or all the linebackers together, and they would then kind of hold court in essence of questioning, reassuring, making sure we've got that reinforcement and understanding, and then being able to feed that information back to the coaching staff as well. So that's always worked well for us as well, to have those positional leaders as part of that process.
That's good.
No, perfect. Just gets everyone involved, and I suppose they feel a part of it, so that empowers them on game day. Then, and I suppose there's no stone unturned, and is there? It makes everything go smoother, doesn't it? Which then it hopefully gets you the results on the field.
Yeah, I think from them as well, it gets them the understanding of what we are seeing as coaches, and that helps them as football players. So rather than just watching film and watching where the ball goes, they're able to analyse it a little bit better, in the sense of, okay, we're looking at information, we're looking at tendencies, going from there.
Yeah, perfect. And all that obviously is on that side of it, but obviously you help a lot more coaches in relation to BAFCA and your role in that. Just talk us through a little bit about, what your role is within BAFCA, and how you then, what the schedule of works is like for BAFCA moving forward. Obviously, I'm assuming it's a difficult time at the moment with COVID, but as COVID-free as possible, if possible.
Yeah, I think I stepped down in the kind of April, and then Paul Cherrett got in touch with me and spoke to me about taking over. Well, not taking over, but applying to be president of the association. So I thought, yeah, that'll be an okay little retirement gig. I can do that.
You get on board with that.
Keep me busy a little bit. But so I took over. I got voted in as president, which was fantastic. And it's been pretty hectic since then, the last 3 years, to try and move the association forward from both a organisation and structural point of view, to adjusting and changing our education format, and that's changing even more so now, just to try and change the processes that we have in place, and keep working with BAFCA on those processes. And I think one of the biggest pieces of work that we've done recently is actually to become part of BAFCA, because in essence we were just sat on the outside of BAFCA and we had no voice at the table. So now we have that process, and that helps us out from a GDPR point of view there. And then really it's just kind of how we can continue to strive to be even more professional and even better for our players. So I think for me, one of those things was, you could get a level 1 qualification, and you could hold that level from the day you had that level 1 qualification, you held it for life. Now we all know football has changed drastically from when I first started playing to probably when you guys started playing, and how
apart from on the line, I'd say I agree.
Yeah, I mean, how we've
everywhere's changed.
is different now. So we're just in a situation where we kind of need to continue to keep developing. So that's where we introduced the CPD process, and that's just kind of starting out now. So that's pretty good from there.
And so that's the plans moving forward, is just to continue to grow that level 1, level 2, and what's included in them. Is there any planned changes for what is included in the level 1 or level 2?
Yes. So we're in a situation where I think we were just about to launch a number of flag qualifications.
Right.
So we've got all those kind of the education courses written and ready to go, because for us it's about kind of the development of the sport as much as the development of the coaches. So what we need to do is, we have a tremendous amount of participation at university level and also at adult level, but we've got a massive void at kind of cadet and youth level, and we need to turn that, like that triangle, upside down. We need that participation at the youth and the schools and cadet level. So that starts really with flag football. So what we have in place is a flag futures program, which is a coaching qualification for 14 to 18-year-olds. So that's how I started coaching. Like when I was on my junior team back at Birmingham Bulls, I helped coach the youth team, positional players. And I think that would be great for some of our kind of young athletes that we have, whereby they're in the junior team, they're in the under-19s. Can they go back and help out, do some positional coaching in that cadet team and develop there? Because they're the role models as well that those kids are going to look up to.
I mean, I think that's also fantastic for like sixth form kids that are doing sports coaching at obviously at A level or college level, where they can go and get like a qualification in coach and then teach it down the school. And obviously that it's going to encourage more kids to actually just get into the sport as a whole anyways, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I know there's some work going on behind the scenes with Pete Ackley and ourselves in looking at sixth form college structure and delivering sixth form colleges. So that will be a key element for us there. We've also got a flag football for teachers qualification. So again, we understand that we haven't really got the workforce to go out there and spread the voice of American football and the great sport that it is in all of those primary schools and all of those secondary schools. So we need that teaching workforce to help and support us to do that. So there'll be a qualification for teachers. And then there'll also be a qualification for community teams. So all of our local and national teams in the National League and Bucks players and so forth, how they can go into schools and deliver programs, because it's very different going into a school and delivering flag football compared to those players that turn up on a Saturday morning that want to play.
It is very different turning up in a school in, let's say, the very inner city of Newcastle, where kids do not care about American football. I got called fat something else. I'm not going to repeat what they said, but it was something else.
Yeah, and it's just that whole kind of the behaviour management side of things. You're not dealing with like small positional groups. You're going to deal with a class of 30 pretty much all the time. Actually, what the school is going to require from you, from a safeguarding point of view, from a risk assessment, policies, procedures. So that kind of goes into a bit more depth in the community program qualification there. So that's kind of our flag structure there. To support that flag structure, we're also looking to work with Athlete Era, who we developed an app with last year, and we're enhancing it some more, but we're looking to get that rolled out maybe just before Christmas or just after Christmas to all coaches in the UK. And that'll be based on how to deliver flag football with a variety of drills and skills on there, game-based activities, playbooks in there, as well as some kind of fundamental core fundamental techniques and skills as well, which go beyond flag football. So hopefully we'll push out to all of our coaches a resource in their hand access.
A little tip from myself, or if there's any coaches that are going out and looking in schools, there's a ball called a play coach football, and it's got the roots drawn on the ball.
Yeah,
that comes in massive. That is the best thing ever when you're going in to teach little kids and you've taught them how to do it, and they go, "Oh, I can't remember what it's called." Well, it's just that one there on the ball. So you're going to run there. Oh, great! And then they can get into games so much quicker.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's the thing for in schools. They're just that speed of getting into games is really, really important for them. Then we're getting in a situation with our education. We've kind of revisited it and revamped it over the course of the last kind of couple of years. But over the last kind of 3 to 6 months, with COVID being in place, it's really brought to the forefront our education structure and how difficult it is at times for educators to deliver, because we've only got a certain amount of educators and we're looking to recruit more all the time. However, there is only so many weekends in the year, and because the football schedule is so jam-packed across the year, for coaches to undertake those education courses, it's a bit of a juggling act. So because one week it might be a level 1 in Birmingham on this Saturday, but actually there's youth team tournaments or somebody's traveling, so it does become quite difficult. So what we have done is similar to what we've got now in place for the provisional level 1. All of our coaching qualifications are going to move online. They will have face-to-face delivery as well, but they will be online. So our level 1 qualification will move to online delivery with a 2-hour practical assessment. So that 2-hour practical assessment can happen on a Wednesday night, 7 till 9 in a set area. So rather than people having to give up a weekend, they'll have to do that. They'll be able to do that. The level 2 qualification will be the same, but that will need to be a full 1-day practical assessment there. But that moves it from a 2-day practical assessment to a 1-day practical assessment. And then our level 3 qualification is more portfolio based. So that will allow a full portfolio over probably a 6-month period. And we've worked with a company called Sport Structures in developing that online content, and we're hoping for all that online content to be ready and available through January to start the rollout of those courses. So we'll start this week putting some information out there for people to register their interest for level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s.
Has BAFCA started looking at things like putting like a first aid course to go along with their coaching qualification? And I mean, people are probably going to hate me when I say this, but on my opinion, I would love it if DBSs was mandatory for whatever level you're coaching at, like it is for most other sports. But I think that should be a thing.
I completely agree in the sense that I was extremely lucky at the University of Birmingham. We had a doctor on staff, we had physios, and we had trainee physios, and they were at every practice and every game. So I was very lucky from a first aid point of view. However, what we did was all of our coaches were first aid trained as well. But I know I've been to sessions where I've been the only coach there, and the facility's locked up, and there's no first aider there. I'm the only first aider there, and I know that there's situations out there where there'll be no first aider on site, and we have minimum medical standards for games, but we've got no minimum medical standards for practice. And actually, there's probably more contact in practice than there is in games positions. So I completely agree, and that's something that is a prerequisite for our level 2 qualification. Is a first aid qualification, a basic first aid qualification. So definitely.
Perfect. I mean, that's like big to me. Do you know what I mean? I really like. I don't know how. I think I'm going to probably get slated, but I don't know how people can be a coach and go and expect to look after people that are playing a contact sport but have no knowledge of even basic first aid. Yeah. And it baffles me. Like I don't understand why they would put themselves in that situation. Like,
no, it's true. Yeah, no, I completely agree. One of the things you mentioned then in there, and it's a bit of an off-piece topic, but I'm interested to know your thoughts. Obviously, we had the guys from the Filton Pride on last week, and obviously they are now coming into books in some capacity. Do you think that's good for GB students in one regard, and where do you think they should slot in at that books level to make it fair for everyone else really and themselves?
Yeah, I think from the point of view, it's going to depend on. I know they're running some university courses there now, so that's great. Obviously, they still have a number of players that are doing A levels and still on sixth form. So It's whether they can recruit enough guys, I guess, to enable them to be have a full squad to enable them to compete at like Div 2, Div 1. But I think it's that aspect of playing week in and week out. Like you can play 4 games over a 5-week period or 5 games over a 6-week period. That takes its toll on a squad. So I think them being able to develop a squad that can facilitate that is going to be interesting.
We've had this question from Wayne that's come in. What level of first aid is the prerequisite for the level 2 going to be at?
Yeah, we're saying a basic first aid qualification. So, however, we're in a situation where we're trying to direct people to a couple of different first aid qualifications. Obviously, we've got a link with Educare. So coaches can pay, I think it's £30 for 14 different courses. And one of those courses on there is a basic first aid. So then you get, there's other courses there from safeguarding to, I mean, there's food and nutrition in there and everything you can think of for all those courses. But then also with Premier Sport and it's available on our website, we designed a first aid qualification with them with some additional content. And that additional content was provided by former GB player called Amir Bataloglu, who is a qualified doctor, an orthopedic surgeon. And he's done a lot of work on first aid and emergency first aid for American football. So how would you give CPR when there's helmet and shoulder pads on? How to ensure that you are checking for a spinal injury with helmet and shoulder pads on there, because that's one of the things. And I was lucky to have Amir on my staff. Was when it comes to first aid on a game day and that paramedic turns up, that's probably their first ever time that they've seen someone in American football gear. So in essence, as a coach, I need to work in partnership with them because I'm the expert on how the helmet fits, how the shoulder pads fit, and all that stuff. So if I can come with some knowledge of log rolling from a spinal roll or CPR and what we can do there, then that's a benefit there. So there's 2 kind of courses that we're kind of promoting there, but it might be the fact that people do a basic first aid course as part of their job. So that's definitely something they can use in there. So it's a basic first aid currently, but that's going from there.
I mean, that's ideal for me. I just want that to be like a thing across the board. Like, I can't stress this enough to everyone. Like, especially if you're going and coaching contact, just get a first aid qualification. Like, it's pennies compared to what it can do to help people. So honestly, please get a first aid qualification.
Are you in partnership, Adam, with any first aid qualifiers?
Yeah, join the link above. So
he's getting kickbacks, I think.
He's setting up his own business, isn't he? That's what he is doing.
I know.
Oh, thanks for everyone.
Podcast.
I've just all the business for himself.
I've just, you know what it is, right? When I was playing at junior level years ago for Gateshead, I hurt my back. I got a helmet into the bottom of the back, and I couldn't move. And luckily, it wasn't anything bad. It was just I was getting spasms in my back, and I couldn't move. And I was just lucky that at the time there was someone there that could help us. And me now going and coaching, I coach kids, I coach university, I help out with the adult team. Like, I just can't understand that if that happened to someone I was coaching, I just want to make sure I can help like someone helped me. So, like, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree.
So, one of the things obviously you obviously help people through your role at BAFCA, and obviously you're involved with the GB students head coach role. So it's kind of a 2-part question. So first one is, what top tips can you give generally players out there to get better? A couple of top tips. And then secondly, really, is what are you looking for people, and how can they get involved with GB students? If I'm a student sat there now, what do I need to do in order to look for that? Again, COVID aside.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things for me and I think this goes across all phases of the game really, is explosive power and hip flexibility. They're probably the two things that I think are our kind of biggest weaknesses in a lot of our players. A lot of players end up being kind of very stiff, and from a flexibility point of view, it not only kind of helps with that transfer of power, but also it's the aspects of injury prevention and rehabilitation and that as well. So I think when it comes to the strength and conditioning side of things, enabling players to have that understanding that hip flexibility, working on explosive power movements is just as good as anything else that we're doing out there. And that kind of touches on what we're looking at with BAFCA, and hopefully we'll be again launching pretty soon. We're working with a company called Archon, which is a strength and conditioning based company, which enables basically an online combine. So players register throughout the process, and we have like a bit of a competition throughout BAFCA, looking at players' measurables, and that is based upon players' height to weight ratio, not just on their performance lifts. So it's a bit more specific to players. That will also help us then look to identify players that should be within national programs, and we can look at them and also be in a situation where we can track players within national programs, because we'll have cohorts of players throughout. So that'll link in with kind of a potential live combines and that as well. But I think the strength and conditioning side of things at the moment, and I know it's difficult, no gyms are out there and so forth, but so much you can do outside of the gym.
Stay tuned to the BritBallin podcast. We're giving you some live workouts in the next week. So.
Definitely not me.
So from a strength and conditioning side of things, that's key for us, and I think that's one of the things from the GB student point of view. We introduced this in the first phase of GB students many years ago, was where players had to apply to trial. And we were looking at certain set combine measurables there, but also looking at their highlights as well and how that all linked together. So we look for them to kind of develop their highlight reel to showcase their skill set as well. And I think that's probably one of the things, if guys are looking at GB students for next year and so forth, yes, it's getting the gym stuff sorted and working out as much as you possibly can, and focusing on your core fundamentals within your position, but also trying to get your film together is going to be one of the big things. So we put some guidance out previously whereby we want, in that film, we want like your first 5 plays on that film, what we want them to be your splash plays. So the best plays that you've got in it, all your highlights. Then we probably want 5 of your kind of top run plays, 5 top pass plays. And then we will also want to see probably around about 1 or 2 drives, because what we want to see is actually, is that consistent performance? Is it just a splash play and then you don't do anything else for the rest of the game? Or are you actually putting in that same effort every play? So we want to see those whole drives from players as well. So that's really important for players to get that film sorted.
Is there anyone BAFCA's recommending to use for like a film program at the middle? Because obviously it's been Huddle in the past, and is it still Huddle or?
Yeah, I mean, I think Huddle have got they captured the market to a certain extent, and they're one of the first there. And I mean, when we were at University of Birmingham, we were the first one to introduce Huddle into the UK, and it's a fantastic program. However, the cost is massive, and it's just kind of rising and rising. And they've kind of cornered the market, and I think American football now is a bit of their kind of just a little hobby for them in the UK, whereas they've got Premiership rugby, they've got soccer, they've got cricket. So we're kind of probably last on their list from a UK and a European point of view.
So weird that it's not like that for American football. Like in the UK, I always think top of the list as well. It's so strange.
Yeah, they're doing so much more with so many other sports in the UK and Europe. It's just crazy. So I mean, watch game film is a great kind of cheap option. It's a little bit clunky and takes a little bit of time to get used to, but has some of the great same functionality that you can use there. I know that a number of teams have looked at, I think it's Quick Cut. That's something that we're going to be looking at and researching moving forward. I think it's just continually looking at what programs are out there and who can best kind of offer a service for us. I mean, we had some talks with Huddle and tried to explain to them about the cost modelling that they put out there, and I think they froze their costings for a year in the first instance, but I just don't know what the costs are going to be like next year for them. So that can be quite difficult.
It's just crazy when you start adding multiple teams in there. It just gets way too expensive. Like, especially for me, we coach a Gates and we don't charge the kids to play.
Yeah.
So it all comes from the adult team, who obviously they're happy about paying a few quid extra just to get the kids playing. But these kids still want highlights. Like, we've got guys now, they've got a quarterback that's looking to go to the States and he's unbelievable. If he's watching, you've still got to get better. But if we need film for him. We need game film. And yes, it is 5v5 or 7v7 or 9v9 that we're playing, but it's still valuable, and we just can't afford Huddle. We can't justify it. So we're looking at other means to try and get something that's worthwhile for us, let's say.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, it was great for us to start off with when we could roll the teams together, and we had obviously our kind of university program, women's program, and junior and youth programs on there, but then it just got ridiculously priced. So, I mean, we're looking. I think the national program will be looking at different options available as well, because I mean, if you look at national program, you got adults, students, women's, under 19s, under 17s, flag, like. All of those need a platform to evaluate. So I think there'll be a piece of work that'll be done, and hopefully that'll be shared throughout if they find another platform.
Hopefully. Mike, I'm going to let you move on to the quick fire round now, because we haven't got much time left. So we've
not got a lot of time left. So Wayne, I'm just going to hit you with some quick fire questions. You can go 1 or 2 words anymore, and I'll be buzzing you out. So best player you've coached. If you've got 2 and you can't choose, I'll let you have 2. But best player. Yeah.
I think you mentioned one earlier, and I think Tristan Varney was phenomenal throughout.
My idol.
Yeah. I can arrange a meeting at some point.
I'm a fangirl, sorry.
And then Michael Akinlade. We only had him for a year at the University of Birmingham, but from day one, he was just an absolute specimen, phenomenal athlete. And then went off to the States to play Div 2 in the States. So, great player.
Not bad. And best coach you've coached with or even against?
Yeah, I think there's quite a few there. I mean, there's so many great coaches that I've been lucky to coach against. And I think that the old MAC conference was great. So many great coaches there. But I think probably against Simon Hatcher, he's a fantastic coach. And I think probably coach with, I think Paul Cooper at the Birmingham Lions has just been phenomenal, and has really kind of pushed me to be a better coach through his example as well.
What about your sporting hero? There's going to be any sport, by the way. You can just pick a sporting hero.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this one, because I think it just changes so much throughout the course of time, and you flip and flop. But I'm going to go back to my youth and when I first started watching American football, and as a Washington fan, which is not great, probably a wide receiver back in the day called Art Monk. He was the first receiver to get 100 receptions. So, yeah, he's kind of a bit my idol when I first started out.
That's quality. I really didn't expect that.
What position did you play when you played?
Oh, I played linebacker and O-line, D-line. So, I mean, there's no comparison there. But, yeah, he was one of my first kind of
I dream of being a receiver as well, by the way.
I could be a receiver as long as I was running hitches. Most embarrassing moment in football?
Probably the weekend of a national championship and getting to the coach meeting point on a Saturday morning with the entire team there and realising that both my president and myself hadn't booked the coach.
Oh, that's going to kill you off, that one.
Just blame the president.
Yeah, well, I did. It was his fault to do, so Greg Freeman did get a kicking for that.
These things clearly make people.
Yeah, I normally check everything when it comes to like I would drive to the field on a Friday night and just after work and make sure it was marked out correctly. So I'm that kind of OCD.
Oh my god, I was annoyed because they didn't put the hash marks up the side once, but put them in the middle. They were like, "Oh, you can just do it Sunday morning." I was like, "Where I stand, not a chance. My boots are not getting paint on. You can do it now."
So yeah, we got the hotel booked. We got everything sorted. We got Pete Carroll talking to the team the night before, but we hadn't booked the coach to get there.
Oh, that would be a nightmare.
Got it sorted though.
I miss the days of marking out a football field. I think it's changed a little bit now. I think there's more people involved, but I remember at uni rolling down the roller on a Friday.
Get one of the little robots to do it. That's what we need.
Yeah,
you know what it is? This is so off topic, but anyways, right? I was talking to a groundsman just before lockdown, and he told us a little tip. What they do is they put some acid in the corner of where the lines are of each pitch, and it just kills a tiny bit of grass, and then you just string it up and line it out again. Yeah. And I was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, it's how I'd get it done really quick." I was like, "It takes me like 8 hours."
And this one's our favourite question. It's one we always ask most guests we have on the show. So if you had to pick a five-a-side flag team from the NFL now, who are you picking? So
the Iron Man football as well. Iron Man football.
That might influence your decision. And as a defensive coach, I mean, you might be clever like I was. I took like Jamal Adams in mine because I wanted him to play safety, and I reckon he'd be good at running back anyway. So you know what? I went to the States and I went to a huge flag football event in Indianapolis, and there must have been around about 120 teams playing at all different age groups. And really, like flag football at that highest level, and some of those guys were like US Team USA flag footballers. It was just really a basketball game. It was literally points backwards and forwards. So I'm going like purely offense. I'm like, right, okay. Outscore someone. That's the way I'm going with this. So I'm probably going to go Patrick Mahomes because like Tristan, he can like throw that ball from so many different angles. So Tyreek Hill has to be in there. Cheater there. I think if I want to just throw the ball up there, DeAndre Hopkins would be
after the other week.
And then I think Devontae Adams is just like such an amazing route runner. He's like just an absolute tactician there. And I can just play those two as kind of like my safeties in flag football, and just someone's going to try and score at some point, but those safeties are just going to be there. And then Alvin Kamara is my kind of linebacker, running back, just going to track everything down. No one's going to kind of get past him from a linebacker point of view either, as well, I think.
See, I'd have Pat McAfee in my team if he was still playing, He goes on and he's sure all the time how he won the kick, catch, punt competition in Pittsburgh all those years ago. I would have him in the team. Just for the night out afterwards as well.
I think it would definitely be a night out with him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's sometimes that's all your team's about.
Saying that though, like funny stories that when I went to that tournament in Indianapolis, the team that won the championship at the adult 5-on-5 level was the quarterback could hardly move. Literally, was tall, quite skinny, but had 2 dodgy knees and could hardly move whatsoever. But completed everything, even with a rusher in his face. And then after the fact, I found out he was Team USA's quarterback. The guy's probably in his 40s. He can't run 10, 15 yards, but absolutely phenomenal quick release.
You hear that, Mike? There's hope for us yet, mate.
Yeah. There's hope for me yet.
I played 2 games of quarterback last year. There's still hope for me yet.
My last flag tournament, I was tournament MVP. So I'm just saying, I just get it out there. We won the tournament, and I was the MVP. It might have been due to everyone else, and I played quite a lot. However, that's all you can do in life. You can.
You the only one voting? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Rigged. It was rigged. We're having a recount as we speak. Actually,
it's just cheating.
Well, I think it's about that time. Wayne, it's 8 o'clock. I know you only had limited time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolute pleasure to have you on. And hopefully, maybe we'll do some at Christmas because we're thinking about doing some sort of like coaching. Get all the coaches on, some of the better coaches, and have a bit of an X's and O's coach off. So you might be one of the ones we'll throw in the hat.
If you're up for it, that is, obviously.
As if you're up for it.
You might be sick of you bragging about being good at flag.
Oh, you plug in first aid companies.
I always get wrong for a plug on this, by the way.
No, thanks very much, Wayne.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for all you're doing just to kind of spread the love of football and keep everyone focused on the sport we love. So I really appreciate all you guys are doing for it as well.
Well, when our hats come out, we'll send you one, mate. Are you seeing the hat?
No, I haven't seen the hat yet.
Oh, we've got like a real Trump hat that says "Make BritBall Great Again." We'll send you one of those, mate.
Right, I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers,
Mark. Thank you.
Cheers,
Cheers, thank you.
Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good.
First aid coming back though.
I know. I can't wait to see Wayne on the first GB Students game with his mate BritBall Great Again hat on.
Oh, that'll be class. Wayne's Put. If anyone's looking for a course, let me know. Amongst other things, delivering first aid is something that I do commercially. Plug.
And we love Wayne.
Plug Back for Wayne.
We can have Wayne lifting the lid legend. And I think we're actually going to do some work with Wayne and that over the coming weeks.
Whoa! Don't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, come on.
All right, sorry. That's sorry. You know.
Just forget about that last part. No one's listening.
No. We'll just dub it. It's not live anyway, is it? So.
Yeah, I mean, we have got some little plugs that I need to get out there real quick if there's anyone still watching. So, as of Friday, I believe it is, EP have a massive Black Friday sale on. I think it's like, what was it? There's a massive discount anyways. I'm going to find out now. Let me get the actual discount. I'm trying to find it on my phone. It's not working. So, the details are... You get 10% across the whole site, spend 50 plus, and you'll be entered into a prize draw to win a £50 store voucher. Use code Black Friday 20. Offers only available November 27th, 28th, and 29th. And it's epsports.co.uk/black-friday-20. So
you sounded dead professional, and I'm buying it. Whatever you're selling me, I'm buying. That microphone's working.
Do you want to buy a first aid course
from Wayne?
From Wayne at Lifting the Lid. Right. No, but honestly, check out EP sale. 10% off. There's if you spend £50 or more, which is basically an NFL jersey or a helmet. Helmets are good actually this year. They've got some real decent ones on offer. I was looking the other day, but don't buy them because I need to wait until 2 weeks' time to get a new one. So have a look on the EP website. You'll see some quality merchandise. Use code Black Friday 20 and you get a discount. What else do we need to talk about? We've got loads of stuff to talk about. I can't remember.
I just want to play a game with you. I want to tease.
You want to play a game with us? What's this? Saw?
I want to tease a little bit of next week's show because next week we're deep diving into the NFL, aren't we? So
we are.
So first off, because it's NFL, how about them Panthers shutting out the Lions last night? What up? What are you saying?
This isn't a game, though, is it? Let's be honest. You're just coming on to brag about the team you support.
No, and then FA getting 2 sacks. That's not.
All right. We'll celebrate FA getting 2 sacks.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to read out a team, and you're going to tell me if they're going to make a playoffs or not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, come on.
Steelers.
Yeah, they're already in on there.
I'll give you the record: 10-0.
10-0.
Chiefs 9-1.
Yeah, 100%.
Bills 7-3. That means the Patriots don't go.
What's the Patriots record at the minute?
I think they're like 5-5 or something. Oh, 4-6. No, yeah, 4-6.
Oh yeah, Bills will get in.
Bills will get in. Good. Colts 7-3. AFC South.
Yeah, they just won the other night as well, didn't they?
They did. So that means obviously they would get in, and then Titans are in the 5th. What do you reckon? Titans 7-3 again in the AFC South. Pretty strong division this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Titans will. If I'm honest, I mean, I didn't watch many of the games the other night, as you know, that I was busy, but I did watch the highlights of the Ravens Titans game.
Yeah.
And obviously, people that know me know I've got a soft spot for the Ravens, let's say. I was devastated, man. Like, they knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs last year. Derrick Henry is just a freak, isn't he?
Yeah.
Liz, come on. You know I love you, Liz,
look.
but get that Panther stuff off the screen.
Let's just stay on. Liz also sent me a video last night live from the Panthers Stadium. What an absolute babe. So I'm still going to go over and see Liz, who lives in Carolina, and she's going to hook us up with her. We're going to go tailgating together. And
it's going tailgating. Oh, what? Now I've not been invited. Is this how this is?
It is. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it's not.
I'd go to Panthers Stadium just for food outside. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, you're not coming in.
I'd do that.
Last Raiders.
Oh, you know what it is, right? One thing I will say on the Raiders, right? What's a record first of all?
6-4.
They could sneak it, like Derek Carr's playing like the core of old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looking good.
He is looking very good. And you've got to love the head coach as well, haven't you?
I do. I love the Raiders.
Little psychopath, what he is.
I know. They're like my second.
They're saying sound's gone apparently.
Oh, is that the first time someone said that, or is it just in general it's gone?
Don't know. Let's turn the. Top tips. I've just turned it up on my phone. It sounds like it's still going.
All right. We'll carry on because we're going to wrap up soon anyway. Browns, did they get in for the first time in a while?
No.
Right, okay.
No, they've got to play the Ravens still, haven't they? So the Ravens will knock them down a peg.
Right, so you reckon the Ravens go in ahead of the Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Ravens then, definitely. And the last one I'm going to give you from the AFC, the Dolphins. Do you reckon they get in?
Really?
You think they get in or not?
What's their record?
6-4.
Nah.
Yeah, 6-4. Ravens, Baltimore. Baltimore.
After how much too I was getting absolutely kicked all over the other night. No.
Yeah, well,
like they shouldn't even have went with 2 in the first place. Fitz was doing a job. Do you know what I mean? Like I understand they drafted him, but come on, Fitz was balling out for us. He didn't deserve to lose his place. Like the last memory of Fitz playing is he come off to give Tua a chance and he's celebrating, waving around on the sideline, and then finds out the next day he's not got his job anymore.
Well, here we go. So you've got
Dolphins. I hate you now. After doing that to Fitz, I hate you. Like he had a legend, what he is. So.
Well, we're not going to go into an FC because we'll do that next week. One of the things I did want to shout out is obviously Lockdown Lids are doing a promotional kind of raffle at the moment. All proceeds, from my understanding, most of the proceeds, probably laying out of negatives, are going towards Bucks and BAFCA team. So get on and have a look at that. I think it's an Odell Beckham Jr. shirt.
Yeah, if I remember, you know what it is? I followed the page, right? And what had happened is they'd sent the jersey out, but it went to the wrong person. So then they had to replace that jersey. And there was a lot of people like donated money to get it replaced and things. But then luckily the person returned it. So now everyone said raffle it off or whatever they're doing, like to raise money for teams. So for me, that's spot on. Like what we'll do is we'll share a link on. Oh, well, there you go. What are you
just share it. Just
why? Why?
Just because he's good in it.
Someone that knows Effie, like from the Warriors, just tag him in this and so we can get him on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's get Effie on. We'll talk football and how he destroyed Tom Brady the other week. I love that.
So FA's had 3 sacks in 4 years playing American football in the US for the NFL, and in the last 2 or 3 weeks had 3.5 sacks. So
he's getting more game time now, though, isn't he?
Well, he's actually getting less than last year but he's coming on he's playing free tech in the Panthers, specifically in pass rush down, so he's just doing well. I got a lot of love for FA. He was the only shining light in last week's loss to Tampa Bay when we got absolutely spanked. So,
but is he just a shining light because he's British, or did he actually just play?
You know what it is? He's a nuisance. He's always in the backfield. And one of the things he's got now is Brian Burns comes off the edge and because he's got an excellent dip and he squeezes the pocket really well. Often quarterbacks are stepping up now, so I feel like FA is getting rewards for. If you watch him, obviously I watch every Panthers game, every snap, and a lot.
Would you like to try and block him?
I would, yeah.
You'd like to try and block him? Do you think you could?
Yeah. I reckon if it was a run play and he was in my inside shade, I think 3 out of 10 times I'd down block him.
I think 3 out of 10 times you would still be standing. The other 7, you'd be on your back.
I just think physics and angles, I think I could get him 3 out of 10.
Physics and angles mean nothing. Look at those arms he's got, man.
I'm saying physics and angles. Physics, me compared to that.
It doesn't make it. Look at those arms, man. They're bigger than your thighs, man. They're huge, them.
Look at them.
Where? There's nothing there. That's just shoulder. Look, there's nothing there. Like, look at that, man. That's a lineman.
Don't tease.
Come on, Liz. Go get Effie for one.
Let's have a quick look then. No,
set it up, Wayne saying set it up. Pay-per-view. Should we do a pay-per-view? Effie versus Mike one-on-ones. I'd love to see that in Okie. Send him a message now, live on here. Get into Effie, send him a message. Me and you, 1v1 right now, live on BritBallin.
And in the dirt, tops off.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, do it.
This is the problem now. I've got Messenger open. People will message me. You'll see my messages. This is the lockdown lids thing. So if anyone drops me a message now, it will pop up on screen. If you represent a Bucks and BAFCA team, read ahead. Well, I do.
There you go.
Lucky to able. I'm not reading it, but you get it. Go to Lockdown Lids Facebook page. And it's an Odell Beckham Jr. jersey. If you're a Cleveland fan or if you're a Giants fan and you like Odell, I like Odell. Then go on and get it. Competition.
Oh, don't put it up on screen. I just said that
now. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Log on there, see it, and I think you can.
I'd take an
£2 a ticket.
Like.
£2 a ticket. £2. So I'm sure you can win there.
I'd take that. Like, I'd take an Odell jersey. Hang it up just behind us, yeah, instead of that canvas.
But yeah, no. So that's kind of it, really, in terms of plugs, in terms of what we've got. Yeah, I think it's been a good show.
Has anyone got any questions? That's always a good one. Any questions? Question time. We're just stalling for time, really, because we want to get over that hour and 15-minute mark. You know what I mean? More bonus grads and stuff.
More bonus for hour and 15.
We're just gonna stand here quietly for the next 3 minutes, just so we can get another 3 adverts and we'll live stream, and that's another £75 each. So see you later. Thanks very much. Enjoy. Bye. No, I'm joking. We don't have ads. It's not paid.
Yeah, we definitely don't make £75. We was actually talking pre-show about which microphone would be cheaper for me to buy, because I now need to get a microphone because I've had a beautiful microphone. And we were talking.
To be fair, I have had this mic. I've had this mic since we started, actually. Well, since week 2 on Gridiron Hub, because Steve got us it from Gridiron Hub. So thanks very much, Steve. But I went and purchased the little swing arm today, and if you hadn't noticed, my quarterback actually commented on it, saying Wilkin talking into a hairdryer.
So he'll be getting hairdryer treatment.
And then he sent us a text message saying, "Are we training since lockdown finishes next week?" So I hope we are, mate, because you're getting laps. Good. That's all you're doing. Full training session, laps. You're keeping 2 meters distance from everyone else. 2 meters from the person in front, 2 meters from the person behind, and that's it. Done.
Lockdown laps.
Yeah, lockdown laps. Oh, I like that. I'm using that. Trademark. I'll tell you what you can't do, Mike, since you've got your screen share still open.
Yeah.
Fire up the EP store. Show them our beautiful merch.
Okay, yeah.
I love how he's just searching it now. Look, I'll just bang.
Oh, yeah. You're with me.
I'm with you now. On Team Store, if you want to set up a Team Store for your store, get in touch with EP Sports.
Don't look at any of these ones. That's crap. Birmingham Lions, you're okay.
You can't stop saying teams are crap.
That's crap. That's crap. That's all crap.
That's the Army. You've just said crap. You can't say the Army's crap. Jesus.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. Make BritBall great again. I love that, you know. By the way, look at the hoodie. Show them the hoodie. Mike with his terrible internet.
It's about this time my internet starts to break. You won't believe I work on this laptop all day, never a problem. Come on, this bloody go. Breaks. BritBall Elite Jacket. I mean, I'm definitely getting one of these, but not like anyone can see it. There we go. How pretty.
Oh, that's beautiful. With a little zip and stuff that comes to here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the zoom.
Ooh, in the right.
I don't know who AP is, but
Adrian Peterson.
is that? Oh, we're getting him. I'm not paying for his thing. He's got more money than us, man.
Right. Going. We got
Yeah.
to hour 15. We got our 75 quid extra.
No, we don't actually get money in that. And to be fair, when it comes on, we are actually going to edit the last 20 minutes of this, probably. Delete it.
Wayne, what's the prospective dates for topless 1v1s? When we get our lockdown, Wayne, and after Tamworth, you're probably going to play for Tamworth next year. Post game, me and you in the shower. I mean, on the pitch.
In the shower.
Topless.
This has gone from Okies to sword fighting by the sounds of things. So
I seen Wayne's mustache yesterday. It's glorious. So.
Oh, it's beautiful. Wayne, we're actually going to give you a call tomorrow and get something sorted out.
Yeah. So,
right, we're going to go, guys.
Absolute pleasure. And see you next week for, let's say, an NFL special.
Yeah, we'll just say NFL special. You'll see in the week because I have to make the pictures and stuff for it. So.